Hey, well, I think we're gonna start rolling. We just hit 1 o'clock. Um, I'll watch it to make sure no one else is wanting in. But this is great. Thanks, Chad and John, for coming on this webinar. Chad, you and I've chatted before, and John, you and I've chatted in Messenger. So it kind of feels like I know you guys a little bit. Welcome here. I'm going to try to deliver a ton of value about search engine optimization for shop owners. And what we're going to kind of use to guide us today is this table of SEO elements. I hope you didn't come today to see a bunch of fancy slides because I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed. If you come to learn about SEO and how to leverage it for your shop, I believe there's something here for you. So I put a bunch of slides together, but they're not as fancy as I would like. All right, let's get rolling. Now, I just want to make sure here. All right. So my plan for the session is I'm going to try to keep it here in an hour. So we should be done by 2 o'clock. Look a bit of a high level overview of online marketing for your shop. And of course, if there's any questions, please feel free to punch them into the chat. And then the majority of our time is going to be spent diving deep into the periodic table of SEO elements. There's a lot of elements there, and we're not going to cover all of them, but we're going to hit quite a number of them. And then to wrap it up, we're going to talk a little bit about what can you focus on, kind of what's the low-hanging fruit that you can grab for your shop to help you reach your shop goals. Now, a little bit about myself, which you may know already. I'm Daniel Burkholder. I'm the founder of Body Shop Marketing. I grew up in an auto body family. My dad started an auto body shop back in the 80s. So I grew up around it. And yes, I was born in the 80s, just so. I grew up around it, ended up managing the family shop for quite a number of years. One of my brothers owns it now. I decided to move on in the summer of 2021, got into sales and marketing, and then made a big move to Oklahoma. Welcome, Nick. Just getting started and going over a little bit who I am. Made a big move to Oklahoma and decided to go full-time on the marketing. And that's where I chose to lean into my background and my knowledge in the collision repair industry and partnered with a business that has been in the marketing space for many years. All right, enough about myself. Let's go on. So yes, like we said before, Shop Owner's Ultimate Guide to SEO in 2024, Mastering the Periodic Table of SEO Elements. First of all, where are you right now with your online marketing? I believe to move forward, we have to determine where we're at. And then we also have to look to where we want to go. And I know very well as a shop manager, being in the shop, it's easy to get lost in the weeds and lose kind of that big picture because we get so caught up in the day-to-day tasks. I'm sure probably each of you on this call can understand that feeling. So a little bit, where are you at right now? And will it help you reach your shop goals? So today, I'd like to give you some tools of things that you can use to reach your shop goals, because clear goals are like wind in our sails. It helps us keep moving forward. All right, why online marketing? So there's lots of ways you can market your shop. There's very traditional advertising like billboard, radio, TV, community events. Those are all great things. Why online marketing? Here's just some statistics that I think are fascinating, because as you know, the collision repair industry is a need-based industry. Nobody woke up this morning and was having a great day and thought, hey, I want to call the local auto body shop. I want to drive over and see what they have there. No, it's somebody has an accident, something happens, and that's when they reach out to us. So 91% of adults use search engines to find information. 46% of the searches on Google have local intent. And the Google Local 3-pack, which in the marketing industry, we call it the Google Map Pack, that appears in 93% of searches with local intent. And I could give you some really fascinating statistics around that map pack, how important it is to be inside of that map pack in your local area, and depending how large of an area you want to reach. And here's a picture showing you a little bit some of the statistics. So as you can see there on that Google search, the top bar is the paid section called sponsored. And they get about 10 to 20% of the clicks. The Google Map Pack, which is the green portion, they get, and here again, these statistics vary. When I made this graphic, it was around 60 to 70%. My more current data when I checked recently was more in the 40 to 50% of clicks and calls are going to that Google Map Pack. And then down below that, the local organic search gets about 20 to 30% of the clicks. And a little bit of what is the goal of online marketing? This is very high level. Obviously, it's to bring in more leads. It's to, and this can vary from shop to shop. Bring in more leads, maintain your market share, grow annual revenue, stay ahead of the competition, prepare for the future, or maybe it's even to drop your DRPs. Maybe you're heavily reliant on DRPs and you don't want that to be the case. I just talked to a shop yesterday and they're at 95% DRP and they want to change that. So they're looking at online marketing to do that. Here is a bit of a rough recommended marketing budget as percent of revenue. Now, this number is not specifically for the collision repair industry. This is a very broad. So I would say, don't take this as necessarily gospel truth, but it does give you a bit of an idea. So if you want to maintain market share, roughly 5% of annual revenue. If you're looking for moderate growth, 6 to 15%. And then for aggressive growth would be 15+% of your annual revenue or your monthly revenue if you want to figure it out that way. You can fairly easily do the math there. All right. So does your online marketing support your goals? Now we're going to go deep into the periodic table. First of all, let's talk a little bit about SEO, just to make sure we're on the same page and everybody understands what SEO is. SEO stands for search engine optimization, and it means the process of improving your website to increase its visibility on Google, Bing, and other search engines whenever people search for services you provide. And I'll just say this right now, the majority, it's around 90% of the search engine market is controlled by Google. And that's why the majority of the energy goes into search engine optimization on Google. And SEO is different than PPC. So PPC stands for pay per click, and that is the type of advertising that you can do on Google, you can do it on Yelp, you can do it with geofencing. That is basically where you're paying for whenever someone clicks on your ad. Search engine optimization is different than that. Search engine optimization is organic. And one of the powerful things about search engine optimization, as you'll see on the graphic, is people tend to trust the organic result more than the sponsored result. I don't know if you've ever ran into that yourself, where you see the sponsored result and you will actually scroll past them to get to the organic because you know somebody's paying for that spot. I don't know if you've ever had that experience yourself, but the statistics show that that is the case. All right, let's go into the element periodic table. There are 7 groups. So content is number 1. Number 2 is architecture. Number 3, code. Number 4, credibility. Number 5, links. Number 6, user. And number 7, performance. And I'm just going to go right into those. We're going to go through all 7 of these element groups. So as you can see here, the largest portion of good search engine optimization is through content. And we're going to hit up quite a number of these. So number 1 is quality. High quality content establishes your website as a trustworthy source. So the strategy is to focus on addressing the customer's pain points. So here we have to try to think in your customers, get inside your customer's head, think through and see it through their eyes. What are their pain points? Is it things like how to navigate insurance? What is a safe repair? You guys know as well as I do all those pain points that are coming up on a daily basis. That is a really, really good strategy to make high quality content that helps establish your website in search engine optimization and also establish it with potential customers that land on your website. The next element is keywords. This is another huge portion for building good content. A good content strategy is keywords make your content discoverable. So if you have absolutely just think through this for a minute. If you were trying to sell shoes and you had a website that never mentioned the word shoes on the website, you might talk about footwear, you might talk about boots, but you never actually talk about shoes, and all you want to sell on your website is shoes. How is Google or anybody going to find you? Same way with your website, is you need to have keywords and use SEO tools like searchatlas.com. I believe they have a free version that you can use to find keywords. Also include long tail keywords. And what we mean by long tail is it's more than 2 to 3 words. The short tail are 1 to 2 words. Make sure you include the long tail keywords like auto body repair shop, or best collision repair shop in Denver, or whatever. There's lots of options there. All right. We've got freshness. So this one can be tough. Updating content to keep it relevant, creating new content in the form of blog posts or articles, and posting these to your website. I see a lot of shop websites that are very static. They were built 5, 10, however many years ago, but nothing has changed on them. There's no change. And Google crawls the internet about every 45 days. So if you can be putting new content onto your website to give Google more relevance, more content to crawl, that is an excellent way to build your content strategy. The next one is relevance. So content must match search intent. Think of your content as a Q&A. So there's common questions that get asked, and I just put a couple down here. Do I need more than one estimate? Can I have my vehicle repaired at the shop of my choice? And you want your content to basically be the answer portion of that question. If somebody gets on Google and asks that question in their browser, you want to have content on your website to answer that question. So think of your content in that way, that you're basically talking to your ideal customer, your client, your potential customer, that your content is answering those questions that they're asking. All right, we got depth is the next one. Comprehensive coverage provides thorough answers, address related subtopics and questions. And here's a tactic that you can use to try to find some depth for your content, is Go and type a query into Google. Go ask it a question like, do I need more than one estimate to have my car repaired? And then there will be down below that, there's going to be this also asked feature for related questions. And you can use that to build out a lot of content for your website using that also asked feature, because Google gives us what other people are asking and also gives us answers for that. And we've got U for uniqueness. So unique content stands out. The strategy is to offer new perspectives, and the tactic is to conduct and share original research. And unfortunately, there's really no easy button for this. There's really no shortcuts for this tactic. It just takes a lot of research to offer new perspectives, but we do have access to a lot of good educational content coming from the SCRS, from iCar. We've got a lot of good options there that we can pull to get information to help us build out that uniqueness for our shop website. All right, AN is for answers. And this one kind of overlaps with one of the previous ones. Directly answer user queries. And the strategy is to structure your content with question-based header 2 headings. And then use your header 3 section as basically a way to answer that question and a way that people can quickly scan it. Header 2 and header 3. So when you're building a website, you have header 1, header 2, header 3, and obviously Google gives more priority to header 1, but header 2 and header 3 also they do crawl those and see what you're saying there in those. Another good strategy in the content is the multimedia. So this enhances engagement, and Google algorithm loves multimedia because they know that people like it. So the strategy is definitely incorporate images, and even if you have custom videography of your shop, another great option, but definitely include lots of images of your shop if you have those. All right, L is for language. Speak your audience's language. The strategy is to write in a tone that resonates with your potential customers. And don't use collision repair jargon. And if you do, explain it. So Chad and John, you've been in the collision repair industry for quite a number of years. And I'm sure there's some repair jargon that you use probably on a daily basis that the majority of people, if they walk through your shop doors, they wouldn't understand what you're saying. It wouldn't mean a whole lot to them. And it could be things like, maybe I just thought of a couple, DRP or ADOS. It makes sense to us, but we have to be careful not to use that collision repair jargon, because it's not talking our audience's language. They may have never stepped inside of a collision repair shop before. Speak their language. And if we do use collision repair jargon, be very careful to explain it. What does DRP mean? What does ADOS mean? Are a couple examples that I thought of. Okay, so we're moving on from content onto the second portion of the table of SEO elements. And this one is based on credibility. So obviously we want to build credibility with Google. If we don't do that, Google is not going to rank the website well at all. A stands for authoritativeness, and this is being seen as an authority boosts credibility. So we definitely want to be seen as authority in our space, showcase expertise through in-depth content, and also leverage a sound digital PR strategy with a smart content strategy to help expert positioning using press releases and authoritative news distribution. And I would say lean into whatever accreditation your shop has, whether it's iCar, maybe it's OEM certificates, lean into those, or even technician certificates, lean into those to help show that authority that your shop has. The second portion is trustworthiness. And I should have mentioned, guys, that the authoritativeness and trustworthiness, these are actually words that Google uses to rank a website. So these are actually, they use the EEAT, and we aren't going through it in order, it doesn't look like, but these are actually words that Google uses to rank websites. Back to trustworthiness. So accuracy and transparency foster trust. The strategy is to obviously fact check all your content and display clear contact information. And also add a great About Us page. So this basically is telling Google, you're not afraid to say who you are, what you do, and what makes you the authority, and why they should trust you to rank your website against all the other shops' websites, to rank yours better. And we're going to jump to brand. A strong brand identity connects with audiences. The strategy is to develop that consistent brand voice, whether it's on your website, on your Google business profile, on your social media, or wherever, even if it's offline. Develop that consistent brand voice, whether it's colors, your logo, the way some terminology, verbiage you use. And share the tactic, share behind the scenes content on social media. Use digital PR to build brand mentions regularly. Here again, basically the tactic is to take people behind the scenes, help them to gain a trust in your brand. And going on to experience. Personal experiences demonstrate expertise, and the strategy is to share case studies, success stories, testimonials from past customers, and then publish these. And also publish your education, your certificates, your licenses, to help show that you have the experience in the collision repair industry. Okay, we're jumping to architecture. So this is basically going into the website development portion. This isn't around the content anymore. And C stands for crawl. And this is making your website easily crawlable for improved visibility. And like I mentioned before, Google, they used to crawl the internet about once a month. Now the internet has gotten that big that the Google bot cannot crawl it all in 1 month. So it takes a good around 45 days for it to crawl the whole internet. So we want to make it very crawlable. And the strategy is to use a logical site silo structure. And this silo basically means taking your website content and structuring it around keyword-based themes. So we have kind of these silos where each of the keyword themes goes inside, and that helps the Google bot to crawl it more easily when it has that type of structure. The tactic is to audit your site for crawl errors and fix them, and also use schema on every page to assist the crawler in identifying what the content is about. And schema is code that you add to the web page to help the search engine better understand your content. So when the bot gets there, it scans that schema first and it helps it to understand the content. The next one is mobile first. Now, I don't have any statistics down here, but it is outstanding how high the statistics are in the usage of mobile devices. As you all know, we are using our smartphones more and more. And I don't know if you've ever had this happen. I had it happen to me last night. The dishwasher, my wife's dishwasher is not working. I got on Google. I tried to find information about it. I got on the Maytag's website, and guess what? It wasn't optimized for mobile. So you know how frustrating that is when you have to zoom in and zoom out because it's not all fitting on your screen. Mobile optimization is essential. We've got to design our website with mobile users in mind. And you can easily check your own website with Google tools at pagespeed.web.dev, and you can check to see how friendly yours is for mobile. And believe it or not, Google is also ranking your website accordingly. If it is not mobile friendly, it gets pushed down in the rankings because they know there's so many people using their mobile devices. URLs. Clear URLs reflect the content. And the strategy here is to create descriptive URLs with keywords. So you definitely want to keep your main keywords, things like body shop, auto body shop, collision repair, in your URLs. And the tactic is to use blog categories in your permalink structure and use hyphens to separate words and URLs. I know we're getting pretty into the weeds here. I'll pick up my pace. So pagination, proper pagination that helps to aid navigation. Let me explain pagination just a little bit. It's a sequence of web pages that are connected. So you want to make sure that is the strategy is to have this implemented correctly. So the flow is good for the users and for the Google crawling. Page structure, logical content organization helps to improve the SEO. And I mentioned this before, using the headings H2, H3, H4 to structure your articles, and also to incorporate keywords in those headings, because like I mentioned before, Google does give them more authority than just your regular paragraphs of text. Definitely make sure the keywords are included there. And don't be afraid to use long tail keywords as well. Taxonomy. This is where organize the content into categories and subcategories, group content by topic. The strategy, use clear taxonomy that is derived from good market and keyword research. And I would say the key to this one is to make sure that the keyword research and your market research is done properly. And the tactic is limit the categories, don't get too many categories, and to use the tags sparingly. All right, moving on to code. Here again, pretty technical stuff, but this is definitely important. Titles, descriptive titles attract clicks. So the title is also, if you're on your web browser on your computer, your title shows up in the little tab at the top of your browser. And so write unique titles with including the primary keywords, but make sure you keep those titles long enough. And make sure that your page titles and your post titles are different. Meta description, your meta description, if you do a Google search, in the organic search results, there's a snippet of text in there, and that is the meta description. And basically, you can think of that as kind of like ad copy, just trying to lure somebody in. So you definitely want to have compelling descriptions and include a call to action. And you don't want to use the same description across all the different pages. You want to have a different one for each page on your website. Headings. Headings help to organize your content. The strategy here is to use these headings for structure. Give the website structure, and the tactic is to include secondary keywords and long tails. Be sure to mark them up with H2 and H5 appropriately. Let's move on to alt text. So every time you have a photo on your website, hidden in behind that photo is alt text. It's describing the picture, because the Google bot does not crawl pictures. They can't see the picture. The alt text describes the photo to the Google bot. And so if you do that well, that does help improve the image SEO. So you want to provide that descriptive alt text. And one of the keys here is to include keywords as part of your tactic. Include keywords in that picture. Maybe it could be auto body shop, technician, repairing, front bumper. Right there, I included auto body shop repair in as part of the keywords in the alt text. And now for the schema markup enhances the SERPs because it gives Googlebot highly specific instructions. And we covered this one a bit before. So you definitely want to have good schema for your reviews, for your articles, your products. So make sure that the schema is included on each page. All right, we are moving on to section on links. We've got a few different kinds of links. The first one is inbound. And quality inbound links boost authority. And the little picture, I don't know how well you can see that. The little picture I included shows a bit of a graphic of all the different links. If you look at the red, especially the one in the center, the red dots, all the links coming into that. And that is exactly what you want to do with your website, is have all these inbound links coming into your website, because especially if they're coming from other high authority websites, if they're just coming from spammy scam websites, it's not going to build authority with Google. But if they see that we've got a website here that has really high authority inbound links, all these links, hundreds, thousands of them, it helps to build authority. So the strategy is to create shareable content. And you can get really creative with this tactic, is to actually create a bit of a network of peers to share your content. It's really kind of a grassroots tactic, but it can help to build those links, to have your friends or your network sharing. Maybe it's an article, a blog post you have on your website. They're sharing it on their Facebook posts, and then you have people clicking through from their Facebook post back to your website, and Google sees all of that traffic, and that helps to build authority for your website. The next type of links is internal links. So these are internal links. Maybe I'll just explain them a little bit. They link internally. So basically, it's like if you had written a blog post talking about, if you had written a blog post, sorry, just going to admit somebody here. Okay, there we go. If you have a blog post that's talking about your services, and then you have an internal link that links to your services page, or maybe it's your collision repair page, or maybe it's your ADOS page, you can have that. That's called an internal link. So you want to use that internal linking wisely, and definitely link to important pages with descriptive anchor text, and only link to other relevant pages with internal links. So if you were talking about ADOS, you wouldn't want to link to your windshield repair or windshield replacement page, just for instance, because it's not relevant, the link to the content. All right, let me just get back here. Okay, there we go. So next type of link is the external link. And linking out, so it's basically a link that's going out from your website. This also helps add value. And the strategy is to link to reputable, authoritative sources. So in our industry, actually, let me just finish the tactic there. Regularly update external links, use authoritative sources when implementing external links. So where we could go with this is something like in the website or in a blog post is reference something from Fender Bender. And then we would link an external link going from our blog post out to Fender Bender, or out to SCRS or Auto Body News or iCar. Those links help to build authority with Google and the search engine optimization. All right, we are going on to user experience. Here in user experience, we've got accessibility. An accessible site reaches more users, and we want to follow the WCAG, and that stands for the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. I think you can access those. Okay, I've got it here in the tactics. You can use a tool like Accessiby, I think it's accessiby.com, to check your website to see how compliant it is, and even to help bring it into basic compliance. because there is some laws around this accessibility issue, and Google is watching that. So if you're looking for search engine optimization, make sure your website is up to compliance with the accessibility. Intent for user experience. Content should match user intent. Strategy, align your content with search intent. And I feel like we discussed that quite a bit in the content portion, but here, this is primarily looking at it being a good experience when somebody gets to your website. The tactic is to analyze SERPs for intent clues. And here again, searchatlas.com, like I said, I believe they have a free version that you can go in and use for discovering search intent. And SA for satisfaction. Satisfying content keeps users on your site, and the strategy is to fully address their query, answer the questions your customers are asking. And then the tactic is to include a clear call to action, whether it's you want them to make a phone call to your shop, whether you want them to schedule an appointment on your website, or whether you want them to drive to your shop. Give that clear call to action to help kind of finish out the loop from their query to the answer you gave on the website, and then to them finding the solution. And finally, I think this is our last one of the 7 different elements. We've got performance. Speed is important. Fast loading times are crucial. I don't know if you've ever ran into this where you jump onto a website and it just takes forever to load. It might only be 5 seconds, but it feels like forever. The strategy here is to optimize your images, use browser caching, and this is just a couple of them. There's a ton of strategies that go into this. A quick tactic would be to use the Google Page Speed Insights for optimization tips. And I believe if you just jump into Google, you can Google that, Page Speed Insights, and you can plug your website's domain into that and click go, and it will run a report for you telling you more about it. Be careful to not have too many scripts running, pixels installed, excessive plugins, large images. Basically what that is it's just a lot of things that are bloating your website and making it so much lower and harder to run than if you keep it nice and lean. Responsiveness. A responsive website is essential. And we just covered this one a bit before. The strategies to ensure that it's optimal viewing on all devices. And of course, using those responsive design techniques. Make sure, I just can't emphasize it enough, it's gotta be mobile and also, mobile friendly, responsive to whatever type, if it's a desktop or your mobile device. And performance as well, stickiness. So creating engaging website that makes people want to stick around. Dwell time is the KPI that measures this element. So Google is watching for this, how quickly people bounce off your website. Are they there 2 seconds? Are they there 1 minute? Are they there 2 minutes? How long are they sticking around? That does affect search engine optimization. All right. So I hope you didn't get too bored with all those boring slides. I warned you that not to expect any fancy slides, but I'm going to walk you through just a little bit as we wrap this up here in the next 15 minutes. What is SEO? It's a search engine optimization, improving your website, your shop's website on Google primarily, and also Bing and other search engines. And just remember, it is different than pay-per-click. It's not the same. It's an organic search results, not where you're paying to be bumped up into the sponsored portion. And I love statistics. I don't know about you. This to me is fascinating. This helps me to understand why SEO is important. And here's a report that Whitespark did in 2023. I don't believe they've done any in 2024 yet on this, showing us the different factors that go into the local pack finder, the Google Map Pack search, and also the local organic. Remember, the local organic is right down below the Google Map Pack. And these are the different factors. So in the local pack, I think we can all understand that it's going to be ranked more heavily on the Google business profile. You can see here 32% of the factors come from the Google business signals. And I jumped to, yes, I want to talk about 16% come from the review signals. So basically we have a total of 48% coming from the Google business profile. So as you can see, that is a key element. And I think I'm going to do a webinar about that next month on the Google business profile, focusing on that. But as you can see, 51% of the factors are still coming from the website, even on the local Google Map Pack search. Now, in the local organic search, see how that shifts into being much more heavily rated on the website. We have a total of 85% of the factors coming from the website, which leaves us with what, 9% Google business profile signals and 6% review signals. I find that report really fascinating, showing how important search engine optimization is and the signals that we're sending to Google. All right, I've done way too much talking. I want you to spend a moment thinking, like, what area could you improve your shop website? Kind of what is the lowest hanging fruit that you could take away from this? Because you're not here today because you want to have just a super cool website. You're here today because you've got a long-term vision. Maybe you want to up your annual revenue by $1 million, by $25 million. Maybe you want to add 15 technicians, and you know why you want to do that. And I guess the question that I have is, does your SEO strategy support that long-term vision? And I asked you before, what are maybe those few things that you can take away and implement today? And what would it mean to you if you were able to accomplish that and reach those goals? And now maybe you're feeling like, wow, that's a lot of stuff to remember, and I could use some help. I'm not going to give you a long sales pitch. I would say I've got maybe 2 offerings that I could suggest to you. I do have a checklist on our website that you're welcome to download. You can just go in there, and I believe you need to enter your email address, and we will send you a PDF, a checklist that you can go over for optimizing your online marketing. Or another thing I would offer that I think would probably bring you more value than that would be an SEO strategy session. Basically, what I would do is I would run a report just like I've got listed here on the left. And we would analyze things like your online visibility. I would make a keyword list for you. We would run some ranking reports, and analyze all the data we can get. Now, we do need a website to do this. If you do not currently have a website for your shop, unfortunately, I can't run those reports on your website because there's no website to run it on. But if you're interested, just let me know, or you can jump over to our website at bodyshopmarketing.io/contact, and you can set up an appointment, a time that works for you on my calendar to do that for you. Here's a little bit about our strategy here at Body Shop Marketing. I won't bore you real long, but I'll just tell you a little bit of what our tactics are. So this all starts with a good website. The website is your foundation, and I would say that ties right into your Google business profile. Your website and your Google business profile is a great foundation to build your search engine optimization from. Then we have some other tools like AutoLink, which that is around messaging customers. Auto capture is geofencing. And then we also offer services around pay-per-click management and social media management. Like I said, the foundation is definitely starting with your website and your Google business profile, building that authority and getting that solid base built is where we start helping shops like yours. All right. So we had a high level overview of online marketing. We did a deep dive into the periodic table of SEO, and we talked a little bit about what to focus on first. Did you guys have any questions for me? I know I really got into the weeds. Do you have any questions, John or Chad or Diane? You came in partway through, sorry. If you have any questions, feel free. If you don't, that's okay too. I believe all of you have my contact information. You can text message me at the 855-667-9648 number. You can feel free to email me or whatever's convenient for you. All right, well, that is everything, guys. It looks like I wrapped this up a little bit early, which is good for you and good for, yeah, I appreciate you being here. And I hope was at least one or two things that you can take away today and implement. And yeah, no, I really appreciate you being here. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. Otherwise, I think we'll wrap this up a little bit early. All right, well, thanks, guys. I am just going to stop sharing my screen. I hope you, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll look forward to talking soon. Take care, John and Chad.